Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Controversies. This is part two of our two-part WrestleMania predictions extravaganza. A lot to discuss tonight. We've a lot to get into. But before that, I am joined, as always, by the man with the wank stain in the background, J.O. Brown, and my other co-host, the golden one, trademark pendant, Mr. Robert Orr, or Robert Gold as he goes by, joined once again from the man from Rangers. I'm not going to say Scotland, 'cause I think Rangers gets more heat. Mr. Mark Goldberg. We were meant to be joined by Aaron, but Aaron unfortunately is unwell tonight, so we will catch him at another time. But for now, this is Weekly Controversies, and it is Mania week. And on that note, I'm going to hand over to Cody Rhodes' biggest crybaby, J.O. Brown.
Well, yes, Tony, I am Cody's biggest crybaby, especially in the island of Ireland. But can I just remind you, you have got specifically 6 more days until you see this man, not with this particular title, because I wish we brought back the Wind Eagle belt right after WrestleMania. But how is it going to feel that he, in 6 days' time, in the Lincoln, Philadelphia fucking stadium, wherever it's called, is going to lift up the Undisputed Championship? How is it going to feel, Tony?
Firstly, it's the Lincoln Financial Field. And secondly, if you can notice, I am not breaking a sweat because I have no worry in my mind because I know Roman Reigns is walking out.
Sweat the morning of night
still, Rob, say it with me, you're a winner and still undisputed WWE champion Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you can keep dreaming. You can keep dreaming them 6 days, man, of him being champion and going on to break some stupid record that a racist has. No, because it ain't gonna happen.
I'm not allowed to mention racist, but you are.
Night two. You wake up the morning and night two, Tony. You are going to realize, oh shit, he is going to do it. I've been lying to everyone this past couple of months that he ain't gonna win, but I think he is. And you know deep down it's going to happen. You just don't want to say it. You don't want to admit. But Tony, is your camera alright?
Yeah, I'm just fixing my laptop so I can see the time. But we discussed Roman and Cody last week, so we're not going to talk much into that. So moving swiftly on.
Yeah,
so we're not giving out if we're talking increasing the amount of it.
Yeah, we have discussed a lot about the 3 big matches of WrestleMania. But before we get really into the what that matches got to do with WrestleMania, Tony is, as everyone knows, going to Philadelphia tomorrow morning. So
tomorrow afternoon.
I'm going to ask the question, how excited are you to go to Philly? Well, not the first time, the second time.
I'm buzzing. I am buzzing to go back to the States for another WrestleMania. My third WrestleMania, in fact. It has a lot to live up to. It has a lot to live up to because the fan of me love Mania 38 for the obvious reasons. So let's see if we can increase the bar at 38 set. But I am buzzing. I'm excited. So the 2 lads that I'm going with. Keep an eye on the TikTok and the Instagrams because I will hopefully have a lot of content going up throughout the week that we're there.
Yeah, do check them out because they will film a lot of stuff, and especially Ryan Healy. We know he does film stuff in OTT shows, but he will do a lot of filming stuff. So if we can rob a few of his footage and we'll give him the credit, that's what we'll definitely do. But is there any plans before the Saturday and Sunday when you're going to WrestleMania that you are planning to do?
One of the things we've been planning even before it was announced was to go to the world famous 2300 Arena, the home of Extreme, and do the tour. And we didn't know we were going to get to do one. And 2 weeks ago, they were announced that they were doing a tour. It was only $20. We paid it. And then we found out that the tour was going to be led and hosted by none other than the blue guy, the Blue Meanie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sick. At least you get to actually be tour guide by someone who knew everything about ECW and that famous.
Oh, he knows it. I've had the pleasure of meeting him briefly and he knows the stuff. I'm going to get to meet him properly this time, but he knows the stuff, so I'm quite looking forward to that. We get brought around the whole arena. We get to see all the famous spots, get a picture standing in between the purple rope. So I'm buzzing for that.
Yeah. But is
the old stage setup where we get a picture there too.
Yeah, is there any indie shows you're looking at? Because a big talk in the wrestling community is the GCW show that's going to be happening in Bloodsport, if I'm correct saying. A lot of people are excited for the shows.
Yeah. So there was a lot of indie shows that week. Like, you're suffocated in indie shows. It's hard to pick one. But I had three of
Mm,
mine that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it sold out before I could get a ticket. It was Bloodsport.
mm,
And I'm even more distraught now that I can't do it because they announced Shayna Baszler for it. And I think
mm.
Shayna Baszler is one of the best women in that WWE locker room that just does not get used the way she should be used.
Yeah. And actually, do you know what? I wanted to discuss on this actually because I think it's interesting that Shayna Baszler is in that show. But do you think WWE is getting very loose now with other indie promotions to let their
Well,
wrestlers go on to shows like that? Because this is something we've never really seen before. We've never seen a contracted WWE wrestler do an indie show like what they're going to be doing now this week. So do you think for possibly in the future they should do more of that for their wrestlers, for people who probably can't even get to a WrestleMania card?
I think it's a great thing. It gives so much eye onto it, an indie show that could probably need it. Now, those shows probably don't need it till they sell out year in, year out that time of year, but it's good as well in a way because they used to give them to the shows, but they were like, you
Mm,
can't do this, you can't do that. And then it was that. But this is like a show where they're allowed to advertise that she has a match against Match Islamic, who I'm all too weekly pissed. I'm not going to see that match because that match is going to be a bloodbath. I think these
mm,
two women are going to kill each other. So I'm a
yeah.
little bit annoyed. But, it is what it is. Not going to let that dampen my spirits going to Mania. Triple H
Yeah, of course.
has come out and said that he wants to work with more indie promotions. And now that Mr. Paul Triple H effect is fully in control, that we could see more of it. We know he worked heavily with Progress and ICW just across the pond. So hopefully we get more of that with the
Mm.
heavily rumored NXT Europe on the horizons.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done WrestleMania before together, and my first one, and I remember that week as well. So much stuff was going on, especially not even just the indie shows, but WrestleCon, and then the amount of different meet and greets and all that was happening. But we seen some of those UK guys, doing some of the shows, and we even seen actually I think Martina in the WrestleCon show. And it's great for those sort of people, These are people who are going to be like you, going to be in attendance at WrestleMania, but not only that, possibly wanting to be in that ring someday. People who are,
Yeah,
so young that don't even hit that prime yet. And it is like I think it's more than just WrestleMania in this kind of week. It's more than that. It's a wrestling week. It's like Christmas for a lot of us wrestling fans. It's like we can get together at this one big thing, and then we can all share our passion for the beautiful sport. And then we can also see potentially who could make the big step to be possibly at a WrestleMania card or even an NXT card, like Stand and Deliver, that will be happening before night one of WrestleMania. You
exactly.
know?
And like I said, I'm not getting to do that, but I am getting to do two indie shows. One of them is a show that every wrestler wants to be on during a Mania week. It is, of course, the Mark Hitchcock Memorial Show, and we've
Mm,
tickets for that. We
yeah,
got them fairly late on, but we got tickets to it. So
yeah.
we're buzzing for that because one of my all-time favorites, someone I think is just getting overlooked lately, is Josh Alexander is going to be on it.
Oh,
Speedball's on it. There's a who of wrestlers on it.
load of
Like,
TNA
lads
guys,
fight to get
AW
on it.
guys on there as well.
I think there is, but I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I also think, and I don't know if that's the show or if it's the show that I'm going to later on, but I know Session with Martina is in Philly that week.
Yeah.
So I know she's on shows. I'm not sure which one, but I do know that the show after the Mark Hitchcock show, the GCW show, the Midnight Show, is going to feature Ireland's very own, living his beautiful life, LJ Cleary.
Oh, yes. Go on, LJ. Be deadly
The
for
only
him
reason we're
to
doing the Midnight
showcase.
Show. The
Yeah,
only reason we're doing that Midnight Show. Otherwise,
yeah.
I'd be in bed getting ready to meet Ronda Rousey the next morning.
No, you got to support the Irish, especially over there, any
Absolutely.
ones
Have his
who we've seen before.
T-shirts packed in the bag. So
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I was going to even say as well, another big kind of show that normally I remembered happening before COVID was Supercard of Honor. And the only match I heard about happening that show is Eddie Kingston against Jay. Oh, not sorry, not Jay. What's the Briscoe brother again?
Mark,
Mark Briscoe. So I know that match is happening,
I
but I
see.
don't know
It's
what
not
else
Super
is going
Caravan.
on.
Used to be this show that everyone was excited about.
I always used to look
So
forward to it. I remember when I watched the Supercard of Honor and they had a few New Japan heads and stuff. And then when they did the New Japan and Ring of Honor G1 Supercard, I was like, oh my god, this can be the show of the fucking weekend. And it was
and
near
it
enough
was,
towards that. It probably
and
was probably the show of the
I
weekend.
I can't remember who the promoter of it was before. Tony Khan bought him up. It might have been Kevin Kelly, but whoever it was did a great job. It was just actually it might have been Bully Ray. It may have
Mm,
been Bully Ray that was the promoter of it before
it
Tony
might have
Khan
been.
bought it up. I don't I can't but everyone wanted to be at. Like everyone would be telling you, oh my god, Supercard, man, that's a show to be at.
Yeah.
SmackDown the night before Main is a throwaway show now. It's just got
Mm,
Supercard on it.
it
Now I have
was.
done the Supercard show once, and that was when it sold at Madison Square Garden, but it was a
Yeah.
Supercard G1 Climax,
It
but it
was
was an
no, it's literally
incredible
G1
show.
Supercard. Yeah, G1
That was
Supercard.
G1
Like literally.
Supercard. It
It
was an
was the best
incredible
show of the
show.
weekend, Tony. That best show of the weekend. I actually, it was not. It didn't drag. None of the matches dragged. Every match was had top tier quality. They had even the match where it was Flip Gordon and Bully Ray, and it wasn't even supposed to be Flip Gordon. It was supposed to be Juice Robinson, but Juice Robinson and Mark
Yeah,
Haskins came out, and actually it was basically like a 6-man like street fight, and it was amazing. And do you remember, Tony? Actually, that Enzo and Cass came out, and they weren't supposed to.
I do. And
Yeah,
we will
that
we
was
will have an
crazy. Like,
episode. We'll probably have an episode down the line where we'll go through all of the crazy stuff we've done at Manias.
yeah, no,
So we'll
honestly,
keep
and I
those
love
little
trip
nuggets.
videos.
We'll keep those little nuggets for then, so we can get people to come back and listen.
Yeah, no, we love trip stories. We love everything like that. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely be listening to a lot of that when you come back because we
But
hope
like,
that it's exciting. We hope it's funny as well.
it is not easy to schedule a week for you going away, let alone a week that entails Mania. It's just you're
Mm.
trying to fit as much as possible in, and you'll be drained, you'll be tired. Don't ask me how I'm getting out of bed the next morning at 8 o'clock because I'm on to go do it all the next day because I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Right. I'm sorry for Mark and Rob to not be included. I do apologize, lads, but I will ask Tony this one question. How much are you going to spend in the Superstore?
I don't know because I want to get the world heavyweight belt. It's a belt that I fell in love with the moment it was unveiled. So I just
Yeah.
thought it was a stunning belt. But Fanatics prices have been hit and miss. They're between that belt prices range from like 350 to nearly 2 grand. The 2 grand ones are the TV elite belts,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I believe their main world title belts are like 550,
Mm,
550, $600. I, I know exchange rates are different, but if that price, then I probably won't be dropping as much as you'd think.
mm,
I'll be getting the odd t-shirt because I want t-shirts for the Hall of Fame and stuff. So I'm gonna get a Paul Heyman t-shirt and
yeah.
maybe a jersey to get signed. Like I'm not planning on going mad.
Yeah. What do you make of the Hall of Fame this year, actually? Because that's something we haven't touched
The
on.
only the only draw to it, and no disrespect to anybody that's in it, but the only draw to it is Paul Heyman.
I think Muhammad Ali for me as well. I think Muhammad Ali is
Like
just he's a go. He's amazing. I'd love to hear
I,
stories about him.
I mean, he should be in another Hall of Fame. I don't know if the rest of the Hall of Fame he should be. I know he is in the other Hall of Fame, but
He's in so many
it
different
is
Hall of Fames, though. In
it like
fairness,
yeah, But I think if they're going to do with Hall of Fame in Philly and Paul Heyman was headlining it, then surely the fuck it should have been riddled with ECW talent at the same Hall of Fame spot.
true. Like who our VCW talent should have deserved it for this year?
Sandman, Rhino, Raven, Tommy Dreamer.
Hmm? Do you really think so? But did they have a big impact in
I'd say
WWE?
the
That's the
Dudleys, but
thing.
they're already in. I would have said the Dudleys, but they're already in.
Yeah, yeah, I know that. But did they have big impacts though? Because to me, they didn't.
So you're too young to remember the impact DCW had on
No,
wrestling
true.
back
I
in the
do
day.
get that. Like in ECW, like I get that. Like if you ask me, I see guys like Taz, who was unbelievable in ECW, that got absolutely ruined in WWE. If you can imagine he could have done that in WWE, he'd be in the Hall of Fame now.
I
You know what
think
I mean?
if I could have one person other than Paul Heyman that's ECW in that Hall of Fame and someone I know deserves it, it's the voice of ECW, Mr. Joey Styles.
Yeah, actually, that's great. That's a great show. Joey Styles is
But
great.
it's a very small Hall of Fame as well. But
Mm, it
I
is.
guess
Well,
that's
how
just because
many?
they're trying to,
Four?
yeah, I guess that's because they're trying to make it two Hall of Fame SmackDown thing, and it's just a clusterfuck, and it's not it is what it
Mm,
is. Like I'm there for Paul Heyman's speech. I listen to theirs, but Paul Heyman is who I'm there for.
yeah. I think everybody who's going to stay for that is going to stay for Paul Heyman and all. But it should be
Absolutely.
good though, because I've noticed the Hall of Fames have gotten better recently. You know, they're not boring. They don't drag. As you said, they are small numbers, but still, in fairness, though, they're actually kind of interesting, especially when it comes to people like Paul Heyman and all
Yeah.
getting inducted. So it should be good though. But yeah. But honestly, are you dreading the day when you get home? When you come home next Wednesday, is it?
I mean, I kind of like I'm gonna have all these memories. I'm gonna get to come back. Hopefully when I get back either the Friday or the Saturday we can record an episode or whatever the case is. It'll even hold up to the following week because you'll have already recorded one. So
Yeah,
I'll
we
have
would
to
have.
look
Yeah,
forward to it and share me stories and stuff. So I have a few extra days off before I'm back in work. So
yeah.
like
But
life goes
honestly,
back to normal. Then we get ready for another. We have All In coming up.
yeah.
Plus, I do believe that they're going to announce one of the big four pay-per-views to be in London next year. That could be an April
Mm,
Fool's joke. So I did see that this morning, so I don't know how true that is. That could be an April Fool's joke. They caught me. But for those
yeah,
of us that have seen it and know what it is, I will not be saying it because if I'm wrong, I look stupid. So
yeah. But we won't make anyone look stupid. But before we get into the matches and all the rest of the matches of WrestleMania, just to get
yeah, because
Rob
the
and
poor
Mark
lads right now,
involved,
they're probably
which we
hating on us right
apologize
now.
for. Yeah, yeah. But we apologize, lads, for not getting this included. But I'm gonna include you in this, right? Realistically thinking, right, we're not going to say in our lifetime, but let's say realistically from the age of 18 to what we are now, what's the one WrestleMania you wish you attended? Just attended. I'm going to start
Uh,
with Rob.
I'm going to go for
I have
WrestleMania 17.
Oh, love it.
I have three.
You've
I
three of
couldn't
them.
just pick one. I have three. I can't just pick one because there's three
Oh,
manias for the atmosphere alone. That if I could get into the DeLorean and go back to it and be there for certain moments, there has to be three. I couldn't just pick one.
mm,
And the hint for it is in it. The fourth one is WrestleMania 3, Andre and Hogan. Because I reckon that atmosphere in front of the 80 plus thousand was electric.
yeah,
Hmm.
For that match alone, I think if I could get a car, go back in time, that one. Another one, which is no surprise to anybody, WrestleMania 17. In
yeah,
my opinion, the best WrestleMania of all time.
Mhm.
Followed closely in tow by the following year, WrestleMania 18, when the
oh,
Icon faced the Immortal. And I feel
yeah,
they're just manias that I'd love to have been at. And
yeah.
I remember when Mania 18 was announced for being in Toronto, I begged my man that for that to be my birthday present to go to Toronto for Mania.
Fuck off, really?
Begged them. 14
That's
years of
man.
age, begged them. I said, one of you can come with me, one of you can stay in the hotel, drop me off to the venue, fuck off back, come collect me, I don't care. Beg,
Can only imagine a little
beg.
Tony in WrestleMania 18. That would have been amazing.
I kept getting the hole. I kept getting the hole. What if you get kidnapped? They give me back after 5 minutes, man. Relax.
Yeah, if you got kidnapped, you won't be speaking English, you'd be speaking French.
They be giving me mad lad or ransom to take me back.
Yeah, but what about you, Mark?
God, I need to warm up my voice again, boys. Firstly, thanks
Yeah.
for having me back on.
Sorry,
You're
man.
No
obviously
bother.
running out of good guests to have. Either that I'm doing well, or
No, you
yeah,
just
you're
you
just
just love the show.
scraping the bottom of the barrel. That is true. For me, there's only one. Alluded to it a few weeks ago. I would love to have been present at WrestleMania 30. Can you
That was my
imagine
honor.
the moments, right? You've got the ending of the streak. I just want to hear the pins drop. I want to hear everyone's mouths hit the floor. I want to hear Paul Heyman screaming when he says, "Oh my God," at that third count, right?
Mm,
Plus, I also want to be there for Daniel Bryan's triumphant title win. I know we discussed that the crowd wasn't totally hot for it by the end of the show, given what had come before it. But I still think that's maybe not the real true case of the way things were. I imagine if I was there, that would have been one of the loudest pops, if not the loudest I've ever heard. I'd love to be there. WrestleMania 30 for me.
yeah, no,
That was
they're
my honorable
brilliant
mention.
choices. I think I'm gonna go different because I think yeah we would love to go to like all the mains and stuff because we're big wrestling fans. But I think if there's gonna be two that I'd have to pick, one would be WrestleMania 21. I just think it being in LA, the WrestleMania goes Hollywood, well, the first time anyway, and how kind of big that was. Because, yeah, it was in an arena. And I think now when we associate WrestleMania, we associate it with stadiums and WrestleMania week with all the different indie shows. But I think, like, there was something about WrestleMania in arenas. I think when you talk about, in my opinion, atmosphere, I feel like a smaller arena with a smaller capacity makes an atmosphere more, what's the word, tense, if that makes sense. And I think from watching WrestleMania 21 back so many times, that the intensity of the atmosphere for that show was amazing, especially for Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle for Triple H and Batista. You know, I mean, those were the matches that got everyone so excited for that WrestleMania. And then another one as well, you know, personally would have been 28, you know, with the Cena and Rock, and that match particularly, you know, I just think with it being in Miami and it being so like, because the weather in Miami is always great, you know, it's Florida. Florida has great weather, but
I
for it to
can
be
vouch for that.
that
The
big
weather in
caliber,
that city is inhuman.
yeah, of course, yeah. But that's it. It's like, because to me as well, that's another big thing about WrestleMania is where it's located. You know, it has to be in a good city that you look at and go, yeah, that week's gonna be amazing. Brilliant weather, brilliant people, brilliant vibes. And I'd say that week in Mania, it was just full of coverage of media, everyone getting excited for the Rock and Cena match, and everyone just not only that enjoying Miami, because Miami is just a crazy place. It's literally full of parties, it's full of excitement, it's full of good times. And then at the end of it is WrestleMania, so I'd probably go for them too.
Yeah. Jamie, you make a really good point about the arenas as well. I was thinking
Mm,
about that myself. The intensity, just the way that I guess when you have a roof over the arena, the
mm,
sound just feels different. That's why like
mm.
Money in the Bank this year in London was just huge. I know it had the UK crowd, but WrestleMania crowds are full of people like us, right?
Yeah.
Full of people like Tony who's just buzzing to get across to Philly.
Mm.
But spacing these people out, I wonder if the atmosphere is affected. But again, ticket sales take priority. But you're right; it would be really interesting to hear some of these pops. Like, how would
Yeah,
different things have
yeah.
sounded
Yeah,
at different
Yeah.
times?
yeah,
Yeah,
because I mean,
absolutely. Because like I've always, from watching
More or less,
sports
yeah.
like events and stuff, I've seen boxing, UFC, and I've
More or
seen
less,
how
yeah.
them atmospheres are and very hostile they can be. And like we have seen
Ash,
so many big fights
last
that's
part on the
happened.
bed.
You know, I mean, generational fights that's going on
There you go.
in sporting events. So
To
like,
yeah,
if you
boss
could
for one because I
imagine they
probably leave
went
here
back to
destroyed
arenas
12
at
and hell was
WrestleMania,
right now.
and even for let's say next year they brought it back to an
Yeah,
MGM
so they got
or
through
an
three payments and all,
MSG,
so I need to leave
like
3 hours
how
early.
intense that would be.
Yeah,
And
the flight's not till
you
20
can
but
actually probably get a good feel about the vibe as well. You can get like when you walk into an arena,
and I
you
don't
can get
drive,
a
so
good feeling about it. You know what I mean? With a stadium with thousands of people, with it being broad, you always look
I
at it
can't
and
really drop
go,
people off at the
"Oh,
airport
will it
anymore.
be good? Will it be
Don't
bad?
wouldn't even
What's the
get me
atmosphere
me
going to
into
be
the
like?" But
airport
with
anymore.
arenas, it's different.
We're meeting at the
Yeah,
airport to drop up from different
You
places.
know?
Yeah.
I
But
imagine Tony's mum's there. But
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
was
Yeah, to
like that.
meet
See,
me,
see, when I was
to
at
remind me of a friend
Wembley,
Ryan.
when I was at Wembley
Yeah,
for
Hold
All
on, just
In,
give us a sec there.
always careful. Philly's a nice city.
yeah, no, ring when you get over there, or text me,
I'll text you.
text me,
Yeah,
right, to make sure you got there safe.
yeah.
Right, so I'm Jack.
I'll see you when I'm back. I'll let you know when I'm landing in the hotel and all.
All right. Well,
Night.
got a
Sorry,
cut from
lads.
his mum.
Aww.
When I was at Wembley for All In, I remember Aaron and I turned around to each other and thought, "Is the atmosphere really good, or are we just not used to like the
I
stadium
got the bad
atmosphere?"
side of the atmosphere at the All In Wembley. I got crucified because I was stuck in the Make a Wish section and my head was melted the whole night.
Unlucky.
So I feel like we've cut Rob off a few times. Rob, what were you going to say?
no, I was just gonna say, because obviously I was at the Clash of the Castle and also the Money in the Bank, and obviously both different kind of venues where you were in an arena and you were actually at a venue where it actually had a roof. And but like I remember the atmosphere for whenever Edge came out, you know, with his theme and everyone singing it, and the atmosphere for that alone was electric. But then whenever you had John Cena come out, you know, in London at Money in the Bank, I mean that almost took the roof completely off the arena.
Mm,
Whenever he came out, and both of them had almost a feel, you know, the same kind of feel of an atmosphere, you know, in that moment, you know. So you've almost got like, you know, close to 20,000 inside, you know, an arena, and you've got close to 60 odd thousand, you know, in a stadium type of thing, and to have the same almost atmosphere, it's kind of funny in that sense. But
yeah.
I think they're very different. But sometimes depending on the kind of crowd that you have in, you know, in that
Mm,
aspect of it, I think can make or break a show.
yeah. No, I agree though as well. But when you even said it about the different capacities, but sounding very similar, I like when I was at the Raw after WrestleMania, you know, in 2019, and like we were at MetLife Stadium, me and Tony, and I wouldn't say the atmosphere was that great. In my opinion, I just think at the start of it was grand, but then as we all got tired and the show got, you know, longer, we just wanted to go home. But when we were at the Raw after WrestleMania, and especially around that same time where the Raws weren't great, And recently, around that time as well, the Raw after WrestleMania weren't particularly the best shows either. But we still, as fans, always look forward to the Raw after WrestleMania because nobody knows what's going to happen. But I don't remember that show being particularly great. And I remember when Cesaro and Sheamus interrupted the Kofi and Seth Rollins match, the AEW chant started, but that AEW chant like was probably the most kind of noisiest chant I've heard that whole week because I was literally, it was echoing in my ear even after leaving the arena. It was so loud because everyone just had so much frustrations for the end of that show and it just didn't feel great. So the AEW chants were as loud as they can be. And I just think I would love it personally if they went back to just an arena for one time, just to see what it'd be like. And I get they make a lot more money in terms of the gates when they go into a stadium. But if they can do a WrestleMania in an MSG again or in an MGM Grand and have a big WrestleMania where they can get a big match going, oh man, that atmosphere and the demand of tickets as well would be through the roof.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. I mean, especially over the past couple of years with Raws after Mania, they haven't been to the standard what they were maybe a good few years ago, where you had people returning, you had newcomers showing up, whether it was people from NXT being called up and things like that. And sometimes, as I say, if you were getting maybe one or two, you were like, is that it? You felt it, and then as I say, but as I say, even before that, you had like obviously I always remember the one whenever Brock Lesnar returned, straight
Yeah. Oh, I
that,
remember that.
that was like that
I'm
was
gonna I'm gonna have to do one to do this, aren't we?
What is it?
I'm gonna have to do one to do this, aren't we?
Do what?
Lads, we're talking bollocks. Let's move on to what people came here to hear.
No, yeah, we are talking bollocks, but it's a good thing though. It gives a different perspective on the WrestleMania talk. But just to end it, I would love to see WrestleMania in my lifetime again, be in arena just one more time, somewhere big.
They fit too many into their big stadium shows. I can't see them dropping down to a 20,000 seat for a Mania ever again.
I mean, you never know.
I mean, they like their money for about nights. They're going to make more money off of an 80,000 seater than if anywhere they can only fit 40,000 in all weekend.
Yeah, no, that's true. But so they're doing all big stadiums and all for their big fucking PLAs now, aren't they? So even SummerSlam's going to be in the stadium again this year in Cleveland. But so we're not talking about SummerSlam. We are talking about WrestleMania, and then we're going to be now talking about the WrestleMania matches that we did not discuss about in part one. So we heavily touched on the three big matches at WrestleMania, which was the two title matches and the tag team match. But I actually want to continue on another match that we did discuss about in part one, which is the first match we're going to be talking about now. It's Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the World Women's title, if that makes sense. So, lads, does anyone have a change of mind or, I mean, how is everyone feeling still about this match?
Well, I couldn't give, I'm going to jump in first, apologies. I couldn't give a straight prediction last week because I was still in my head it was going to be a fatal four-way. Now, I'm going to get a lawyer out tonight when Raw happens because it probably will get announced. But as of now, it looks set in stone that it's one-on-one.
Yeah, it is one-on-one.
And I'm an Irish fan through and through. I support the Irish through and through. I'm going over with a flag. We're all five Irish talent on it to support them. I don't think Becky should win. I think Rhea needs to walk out the women's champion. I don't think Becky needs it. Becky's bigger than the belt. Becky has made herself bigger than the belt. She is that big a star now. She does not need to win. She could lose and still walk out more the next night and get a pop and be over as fuck and not have any of her due strength. But if Rhea loses the same night that we know the judgment they are going to lose, all her momentum is gone, and they're going to probably try and force it into Daniel Priest with a force catch in.
But I think that's where they should build back the momentum for Rhea, as we discussed in part one. If they do Becky, winning against her. And I think Becky needs this win, really, because after WrestleMania, if she loses, she is going to be, highly respected no matter what. Everyone knows that, Tony. I think everyone knows that Becky Lynch is one of the most highly respected women's wrestlers to ever lace a pair of fucking boots. But I feel like for the here and now for Becky, if she was to lose, me personally look at it and go, then what's next for Becky? And my fear is she's going to be a feeder wrestler to all the up-and-comers coming up, because they could go back with Tiffany Stratton if they do the draft. You've got Jay Cargill there as well, who's going to be a big star in 2024. You also have Liv Morgan, even though she's been around for a few years now, they can still probably build her back up, and then they should have her and Becky possibly have a rivalry again. And it's like, then what's Becky gonna do? Do you get me? What are they gonna do then with Becky? And it's like with Rhea losing isn't gonna be that damaging for her, because I feel like she can easily win the title back if she builds back the momentum, you know. And I did discuss about her separating from the Judgment Day, which is a possibility, but then you also said about Damian Priest cashing in possibly at WrestleMania. So there's so many layers to what the Judgment Day's path is going to be, but I don't really care about the Judgment Day for the simple fact I feel like Rhea could possibly not need the Judgment Day anymore and probably want to go on her own path and probably be. She already is a superstar to me, but she could be probably a bigger star in a babyface run than she is now as a heel. So I feel like it'd be beneficial for both women, I think, if Becky won. It might sound stupid, but I think it'd be beneficial for the long run anyway.
I don't
What do
know.
you think, lads?
The build begins, boys. The build begins. In my opinion, the way I see it is that Rhea Ripley will retain. I hope that's what I said last week, because it's certainly what I'm saying now. I think Jamie is right. You were initially right when you said, "Oh, where does Becky go from here?" But then you're right. Like, she has a family, she has kids, she probably wants to spend some time with them, etc. She may want more. You do have an opportunity for Becky to put over a lot of young and up and coming talent, and that women's division is full of it. Someone like Tiffany Stratton going into a feud with Becky Lynch and Tiffany getting the win, that builds her up, etc. But I don't see Rhea losing the title. I think she needs to hold the title when the Judgment Day collapses, because somebody needs to come out strong from that. I think it will be her. And as I alluded to when I said at the beginning of my answer, the build begins. The build ultimately begins because Jade Cargill is the one who's going to take that belt off Rhea Ripley. And she needs to be built up to the point. She's going to take it at some point. Don't know when. We've got a draft probably going to be happening as well. That is where I see this inevitably going, and I certainly think it would be really good TV. I mean, come on, that's a WrestleMania match for you. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I think, Jade Cargill's just starting to, to be shown, to the WWE universe what she can really do now. Obviously we've seen glimpses at the Royal Rumble of what she can do as fans of WWE, because if fans of Jade Cargill that did watch her back in AEW, they'll know how good she was. But just having that WWE build now with her, I think it's going to propel her to the next level, and preparing her for that, giving her that time to get ready. WrestleMania season, the biggest time of the year, this is what she's been made for. And I think I would say I'll be very surprised if she doesn't win the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. Let's put it like that. And that's my pick for 2025 already. Is Jade Cargill to win the Rumble for next year.
Love that, Rob. Love that you are so advanced in that prediction, because you know possibly what WWE is going to do with Jade Cargill and what direction they're going to go for. But no, before we even actually go into the next match, Mark, I was actually going to say, like, I think like it's great for other talent to get a win over Becky Lynch, but I think that's kind of a problem with me. I don't even think that's got to do with other people. I think it's a problem for Becky if she puts over other people, because if they done that after her losing, then there's no point then in Becky being a WWE anymore if they go that route. And I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I think matches like a Tiffany, matches like Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, or if they done a draft, Io Sky, Asuka, I think or even other women's wrestlers like Tiffany Stratton as well. But I think if they had them sort of women have title matches with Becky, not only that, they're going to be, visiting that match, then possibly revisiting it in the future where Becky's a little bit older. She probably might have another kid with Seth Rollins. God knows what the future's going to be like. And then that's when you could do it. I was just talking about now, I think would be the worst time to do that with Becky. I think they should do it in the future once you get a bit older. I just don't think it should be now. So I think that's kind of why I feel like Becky should win. But I'm gonna go with the prediction. I'm gonna go bold, and I think Becky Lynch is going to win against Rhea Ripley. So, what do you think, lads? Mark, I'm gonna go with you. Who do you think's gonna win?
It's Rhea for me. It's got to be. Just can't see her losing. I think someone has to come out on top from the Judgment Day. And I think she's got a while yet. And I think Becky could still sort of elevate other talent without the belt. She's bigger than that. She doesn't probably need it as much. And a Becky Lynch pop is always going to pop the crowd, literally. But she'll also, if she puts over talent, that makes them look good. She doesn't need the belt to do that just yet. But I noticed Tony shaking his head for the majority. I don't know if it was my answer, but Tony, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are whoever thinks Jay Cargill is going to take the title off Rhea Ripley is tapped and whoever they're smoking. Can I get some?
Whoa, what?
Actually,
You think Jay
pass it over to you,
Cargill
mate.
won't be the one to do it?
Jay Cargill's going to be the face of SmackDown.
There's going to be a draft.
Hence the reason when they introduce new talent to Raw or SmackDown now, they say, and I quote, with a contract in their hands, they're exclusively signed to SmackDown, meaning they're outside the parameters of a draft.
Mm.
No, well, that doesn't exclude Rhea Ripley.
Well, it does if she's the champion, because they're not going to swap over a belt, because that diminishes her reign.
They could easily. And
Plus, Triple H is big on not doing that.
Bailey
Vince was the
Neil
one that
Sky
did
we'll
that
get
and
to
swap.
later, but
Vince was the person that was big on swapping belts and saying it was the same thing. Trips won't do that. The champions won't be selectable during the draft. Plus, all the belts will be back where they need to be after Mania. Hopefully, we'll have Raw tag champs, SmackDown tag champs. Listen,
Yeah.
we've seen it last year. Becky losing made stars. Becky lost to Lyra Valkyrie, made her a star. Becky beat Tiffy, and now Tiffy's a star because of that loss. Rhea Ripley doesn't need to beat Becky to be a star. She's already a star. Rhea Ripley needs to beat Becky to prove that she's better than the four horsewomen. She's already beaten one of them. Why not a second one?
Yeah. So you're going Rhea Ripley?
I'm going Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I'm going with
What about
Mammy.
you, Rob?
Yeah, same Rhea Ripley for me, but at the same time, it still wouldn't surprise me if Becky Lynch did actually capture the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But my head,
More chance of Trent Seven showing up.
not this weekend at WrestleMania, that's for sure. Not even a freaking but yeah, but no, I can see my head's going, Rhea Ripley, but my heart's saying Becky Lynch at the same time. But I would say Rhea Ripley for the win.
Well, come on, Becky Lynch. Anyway, I always support the Irish in anything we do, so I'm up for Becky.
I support the Irish. I just don't think Becky needs to win.
But we'll see anyway. But I'm going to touch on then the next women's title match, which is for the WWE women's title match, which, in my opinion, hasn't got the best build of any of the matches, in my opinion, for this year's Mania, and that's Io Sky versus the Royal Rumble winner, Bayley.
The Royal Rumble winner, which I predicted this whole storyline. And that prediction ends with Bayley getting her WrestleMania moment and becoming the WWE Women's Champion with a big win over Io Sky.
The thing is, though, she already has a WrestleMania moment. Everyone forgets she retained at WrestleMania 27.
No, yeah, but it's not really a moment.
It wasn't a moment for the simple fact that it's Vince McMahon's fault for having her be the champion in the actual show. Because that could have been the moment if she wasn't. If they kept the belt with Charlotte Flair, who I think was the champion at the time, I think they could have done Bayley that year, but they didn't. They had her as the champion and kept her as the champion after Mania. So I still feel like that's still a moment. She retained that belt at WrestleMania.
Even in the feet at 27, people still talking about Charlotte and not Bayley. But this time, it's all about Bayley.
I'm going to be controversial, Tony. I don't think Bayley should. I think Io Sky. I know it's not a great run, but I think Io Sky should still be the champion. But I think her run. Yeah, I know you were touching on last week that because she can't speak a word of English, it's not going to be great, and her promos isn't. But I feel like that. I don't think Bayley, in my opinion, is a worthy, as I've seen anyway, a worthy competitor to take that away from her. I see more. I know it's going to sound controversial, I see more Jade Cargill being the one. I see him more
Go
build with
fuck
Jade
yourself.
Cargill.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Now I can go fuck
Fuck
myself
yourself.
all he wants.
She doesn't even show up. Trent Seven show up record is better than Jay Cargill. Fuck right off.
So you telling me Bailey should be more of a worthy winner to take that away from
Yes.
me, Sky?
Fucking do right I do. She's been getting shit shoveled on her for the last 2 years. Risk
And I'm not
getting
saying
released
this
and
is
she's
Bailey's
still
fault,
there.
by the way.
Right off. Bailey deserves this win. It's Bailey's moment and nobody else deserves a win. More than Bailey does at Mania to walk out with that women's title.
See, the
That's
word
exactly why
deserved.
Bailey. That's exactly why the build to this match is being shite. Because all the focus is on a talentless pack that came in from a cokehead promotion across the way in Florida.
But no, listen, right? I love. I'm not saying I love Bailey, but like I respect
Our whole
Bailey from the
moveset is
years of
ripped from
when she
Beth
was in
Phoenix.
NXT.
Fuck right off.
Now, listen, I respect Bailey, right, for what she did in NXT, which is she's one of the most memorable wrestlers to have been in that era in the black and gold brand. And then what she did in Lockdown, especially when everyone thought that them shows were going to be very lackluster with no audience. She was one of the most entertaining things about it, especially with, no Roman Reigns, because I remember it was her dominating the women's division, and she was named Pro Wrestlers Illustrated Women's Wrestler of the Year in 2020. So if you ask me now, right, if that was Bailey now, I'd say Bailey all the way. Bailey deserves to be the champion. But realistically, I know she won the Royal Rumble, but in the last couple of months, what I don't see anything with Bailey to me that I look at and go, right, she's going to be a great champion. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to me that I look at and I believe that she can probably be a champion where she can elevate herself. I think she's already gone to that phrase, in my opinion. She elevated herself a few years ago, and she's gone past that now. And now she came back, and she had the thing with damage control. And if you think about it, damage control really it wasn't the most, if I can explain it, the most threatening group. You know what I mean? They lost a lot of matches too. And they had the separation and like they tried to make it interesting, but it's just not really interesting. It's not grabbing me like what a Rhea and Becky is because there's a lot of emotion now going on to that storyline. With this, it's like, okay, one betrayed the other, and now they're gonna have a match for the title. And I've seen that before. It's very repeatable. You know what I mean? It's something we've seen before,
Well, of
and
course it's
it's
not going
just.
to grab you. Only one person is talking English and cutting promos and building it up.
But
The
the
other
funny
one is
part is,
using
though, I think
subtitles. The other one is using subtitles and hope we can follow along. No disrespect to you, Troy, but like, how long have you been in the States now and you haven't learned English?
it's not easy. It's not easy to learn a new language.
I think for
It's
me,
not,
right,
but she's
this
been in the
this
States over
match,
four.
What are you gonna say, Mark? Go on.
this
Like, this match
match,
is being caught.
the reason, right, my prediction is that Bailey goes over, right,
Thank you, Mark.
and
Appreciate it.
it's
I
for
don't think
it's
so.
for two reasons. One, in the damage control. Let's get that done, right? That's been going on for a while. It didn't really get over. They were more annoying than they were anything
I
else.
don't think they're going to end damage control.
But in that story with Bailey, just get her away
Well,
from it.
I don't think
It
they're going to
it
end the story either.
it's
Just
less
let Mark
about
talk anyway. Just let him talk.
it's less about Bailey deserving the title and elevating the title and being a worthy champion. Less about that than and more about story progression for me. Because I don't think with the two titles in the women's division, it does feel like one is far higher stacked than the other in terms of credibility. And that's obviously the one that is being held by Rhea Ripley. For me, I think Bailey goes over. I think she does get a WrestleMania moment, a bigger one, in my opinion. But my worry on that is how many people are actually going to be there to watch it. The build has been so lackluster and kind of boring and forgotten about that is probably going to go maybe 5 minutes, and many people will still be in queues at the toilets. Unfortunately, that's my prediction for that match, which is a shame because she got a big moment by winning the Rumble. She deserves it. But yeah, for me, it's the end of or at least the progression of the storyline with Damage Control. She gets the big Bailey buddies and everyone gets to celebrate with her again. And that might build her character up a bit more. But I think giving her this win and giving her the Wacky Playable Arthur and Tube Man and the theme music back, that's how we start to develop Bailey and make her that worthy champion. Right now, of course, she doesn't look like it, but that's due to the build. That's not due to Bailey. Bailey goes over for me.
before I get into Rob, I actually wanted to touch on that what you said there, Mark, about how they can develop this character because we have not seen this side of Bailey being a babyface yet. Because we've seen the heel and she's been an amazing heel. You know, I touched on 2020, and with Damage Control, it hasn't been the worst thing. But I think that's a big factor as well on why I feel like it's not that interesting is because I don't listen. This is probably the little baby step so far of her being a baby face in this character who's been a heel for the last couple of years. But I just think that honest to God, right? If she came back as the hugger at WrestleMania, I'd probably go, do you know what? Yeah, she deserves it. But when I look at her now and go, right, I need something. I need something for me to believe that she can win it. Other than that, just keep it on Io. And I haven't seen that yet with this build. But Rob, what's your thoughts of this match?
Yeah, I think, as we've all kind of said, I mean, the build-up, I would prefer a good build-up to a match, especially when you're going into WrestleMania. And this build-up, it's been literally next to nothing, if you ask me. But in my mind, I think Bailey will win this. I think Io's been an okay champion, but I just don't think her run's been that great. And that now, whether that's been on her as a champion or whether that's been the way it's been built, but I just think, as I say, a Bailey run as being a champion, whether she still stays heel or whether she turns face with it, I mean, there's too many fans that still respect Bailey and still cheer for Bailey. Hence the reason why I think she will turn babyface, whether it's in the next couple of weeks, month or two.
He is babyface. He has turned babyface.
Yeah, she has already turned babyface.
So to have that, going in obviously with Io Sky, I think that's one of the reasons why I think Bailey will walk out as champion. I can't see any other winner in that match, to be honest, and I can't see the story really staying with just Damage Control against Bailey because you don't want to see too much repetitiveness, especially just after WrestleMania as well.
Mm. Were you going to touch on something, Mark?
If I can find the unmute button. No, I think that's it. I think she has been a babyface, but I think the big moment, like I mentioned earlier, and that you alluded to, Jamie, was that getting back to the hugger gimmick, getting the theme music back. That's how, she hasn't had enough TV time to build that big moment. She hasn't had enough of time in the segments for Rob to not even realize that she's actually a full-on babyface. Her moment is walking out that entrance with her old theme music, gimmick slightly altered again, or her going for the hugger gimmick and the wacky inflatable arm flipping tube man or whatever. For me, that is her, okay, right, she is a babyface. And then the crowd will get behind her, and then she gets the title. And then she's got a good few months maybe to hold on to it. And she's also got the backing of the crowd again. Because she has been a bit bland. She's done a lot of good work. But yeah, that's like the cement of or that's her cementing her face turn for me, is that entrance. So that's the way I see it going.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Io Sky's going to retain, but you are all going to go for a Bailey as new champion.
So far, Jamie, that's the way it's been. We've all agreed and you've disagreed.
I just don't know. And here's the thing, right? I would love it. Listen, I've met Bailey. She's nice, and we've seen what she has done over the years. I just see as the character she is now, being a baby face, I am not sure where they could go with it, even if she is a champion, because it's important. We know it's important for our wrestler to have a connection, or not even just connection, like an aura. And that's why I mentioned the Jade Cargill. She has an aura about her. And to that, I know that's going to sound stupid to Tony, but that's more worthy of a champion than Bailey being a babyface and being the Royal Rumble winner. I'm sorry, it's controversial. This is what Weekly Controversies is all about. But that's just my opinion.
It's the fucking booking you all complain about when you're booking you're booking like Vince McMahon. Oh, I want the face with the deceased to take the belt to Tony here in a second.
No,
of course she has an aura. Of course she has an aura. They built her for 6 months to do nothing. They've done nothing with Bailey. They've let Bailey falter into the background so they can build Cody, Roman, and The Rock. Give 45 minutes part of SmackDown to Cody, Roman, and The Rock.
Yeah,
we're all saying the same thing because she's not getting enough time because they're giving it to Cody, Roman, and The Rock. They're getting 45-minute segments here, there, and everywhere.
So the rest
of the Mania card is getting affected by it.
sorry for this interrupting, Tony, but I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, she doesn't deserve to be because she's only here 2 minutes and Bailey does. I see that point. I'm talking about what I'm seeing in a television standpoint. I'm seeing from a television
What
standpoint from someone
you're
who's a
seeing what you're
wrestling
seeing
fan.
because she's given more time. The wrong person is seeing the time, and that's what you were saying.
Like, this is even, like, to your logic, right? I think Otis and Akira Tozawa should be tag team champions because they're in the, work and they're in TV more and blah, blah, blah. But that's not the case. It's the point of who everybody loves, who everybody wants to see champion and everything like
They've
that.
been cheering
Do I
Bailey for
really,
weeks since the Rumble.
do I see the crowd wanting Bailey to win? I don't, though, Tony. I don't.
They've been
No
behind
one
Bailey
cares
since the
about it.
Rumble. They've been behind Bailey since the
The
Rumble.
Rumble's, yeah, but that's the
Every
Rumble.
week on
That
SmackDown
happened.
when the damage, every week on SmackDown when damage control are taking out the people that are helping Bailey, the fans that chant for Bailey to come out. Of
The
course, people
fans have
want
a
Bailey
connection with
champion.
Bailey. That's for sure.
No,
You're
right. I get
talking
there's a
absolute
backing with
joy.
Bailey. No, listen, right? There's a backing with Bailey. I get that point. You're talking about the Rumble. You're talking about something that happened about 7, 8, 9 weeks ago. That was a great moment for Bailey. I'm not denying that. I'm talking about the build that they've done with this whole, like, they even done it with, like, they reverted the Batista and the Evolution and how she heard them talking behind that back and stuff like that. So they, in fairness, they have tried to rope the fans into believing Bailey can take down damage control and take the belt away from Mio and stuff like that. And even that promo when she spoke Japanese and then, they didn't. But in fairness, if you look at the build, there hasn't really been anything going, yeah, Bailey, you can do it, Bailey. No one cares. No one genuinely cares. And that's not the fault of any of the girls. It's just the bad booking they have for this particular match. And that's why I think, just to make it easier for everybody,
Well,
EO should retain.
it's a bit of bad booking, but it's also the fault
So
of
by
The
your
Rock.
so by your logic, EO should retain because they haven't given enough time to the women's championship to justify Bailey winning it.
I just think for her babyface run, it shouldn't be given the championship yet. That's all I'm saying. I haven't felt anything with Bailey being a babyface yet, and that's the god on the truth. If they done the heel Bailey from like what they did years ago, I'd say Bailey's gonna win, absolutely gonna destroy Io Sky. But she's a babyface, and I don't have a connection with her at all. I don't believe she's gonna do it. Oh,
You don't
my
have to have a
friends don't
connection for her
like
to
me
win.
anymore. Ooh, that's all I'm getting out of that.
Well, one fan doesn't have a connection with a wrestler. Still great. Everyone else wants Bailey to win.
I don't. No, I just don't have a connection with the babyface character she's portraying at the moment. That's all I'm saying.
This is the same person that thinks Cody Rhodes is a Super Bowl champion.
I think he'd
Let's
be an
not get into
amazing
that
world
debate
champion.
again, yeah?
Yeah. But listen, we're going to move on now to the next match, and that is LA Knight.
Yeah.
Versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, lads.
Jo, I think you should start with this one because they're both your favourites.
No, yeah, I think like everyone knows me, personally, everyone knows that AJ Styles is my goat. I think him and Cena, if I'm allowed to have two favourite goats, they'd be the two. AJ Styles, the best professional wrestler I've ever seen in my entire life, literally. And he has literally grabbed me from so many moments in TNA, independent scene, and in WWE, where it's like, I don't want this man to retire anytime soon, but he's not getting any younger. He's looking at possibly wanting to go into a big run with his last contract in WWE, and he's getting a WrestleMania match with a guy who is so over at the moment in LA Knight. This is his fourth match, which I think is robbery, by the way. I think he should have had a match last year at WrestleMania, and he never did. But this is his fourth Mania. And in fairness, lads, I have to say, it hasn't been like the worst build. I've seen a lot of people say, it's not great, it's not. But in fairness, there's a lot of different references from old storylines that they've put into this match, and they have tried their best with it. Especially with LA Knight, because you can see like LA Knight has a hatred with AJ in the storyline, and that he really wants to take him apart when it comes to their match. And with an AJ Styles match, everyone knows it's never bad. No one can deny like that AJ Styles does have great matches, even if it's not great. He could still look at and go, AJ Styles doesn't do anything wrong. He's never any fault in any of his matches. It should be great, And not only that, lads, these are kind of two TNA guys, because everyone knows these two from being in TNA at a WrestleMania stage. Like, who would have ever thought that Eli Drake would face AJ Styles at WrestleMania? Who would have ever thought that? But It should be a great match, and with the rumors that's been going around lately that AJ Styles is gonna have a new theme song, which I'm excited for. This could be a new direction they're gonna go with AJ, which I've been screaming for the past 2 years for. That they're gonna be doing something different with AJ. I would love AJ to win, but because it's his fourth Mania, I feel that they're gonna go with LA Knight. So I'm gonna go with Tony for this. Who do you think is going to win?
Who I think is going to win?
Yeah.
I think WrestleMania 40 in Philly is going to be a phenomenal WrestleMania. I
I
think the
hope so. I
phenomenal one,
hope so.
AJ Styles, is going to pick up the victory.
Yeah. I hope
And I
you're
think
right.
it's the
And I
logical
hope I'm
thing.
wrong.
I think it makes sense. I don't think LA Knight needs the win, especially seeing as AJ hasn't won a match in fucking God knows how long. They didn't
Yeah.
know what to do with him, but now it looks like they're rebuilding him, they're repurposing him, they're giving them, well, rumored to be giving him new music. So we may very well be getting a new character, AJ Styles, and you can't kick off a new character with a loss. It has to be a win. So hopefully that means he's going to end his match like he did in his heel days with the calf killer.
Mm, yeah. Rob, who do you think's gonna win?
This match has actually kind of really drawn me a bit because both of them, I really like the two of them, and this kind of like like almost a feud type of thing in that's been brewing between the two of them. I think is actually it's almost gripped me a bit, but I feel for any of them to get the push in this one, it has to be LA Knight for the win, and that
Mm,
I do respect and I love AJ Styles, even if he's getting this new character type of thing, which is rumored. But I just feel that LA Knight seems to have slipped in the order of the way things have been going, and I think a win against somebody like AJ Styles will boost him back up again. And that yes, people might say like he may not need the win, but I feel that he does need this win against AJ Styles, and especially at the greatest WrestleMania it's going to be in history. I feel it has to be LA Knight for the win.
mm. What about you, Mark?
This is a really tough one, right? For me, I oh man, I want to back Rob's corner, so it's 2v2, and it's not every single time we seem to do it, it's 3v1. But the first of all, what I want to say is that AJ Styles has been cruising the last few years, right?
Mm,
I don't think he's had a particularly good or entertaining time. He's been there, he's been injured, he's been here, there, everywhere, but he's not actually not really been memorable the last wee while. LA Knight, on the other hand, has transformed himself from that maximum male models thing. He's now managed to get TV time. He's got himself over. The crowd is behind him. They maybe put him in the title picture very quickly with Roman, which was probably did it detract from him? No, I think he still sells merch. I think he's still a big pop. But for me, AJ's going over. AJ needs to win more than LA Knight. At least I hope, right? And I say that because my fear is that the LA Knight bubble bursts if we don't start backing him up with some wins, some big wins, some big moments, right? So it's all good having the crowd in the palm of your hands and being entertaining, but we're going to need some back. We don't just want to back a loser after all. The way I want this to go, and hope it does, is that ultimately AJ gets to be this heel character. That he goes over, he gets a big win against quite a big name. The match might not be great, but AJ will maybe carry that a bit. Should be good watch. AJ goes over. LA Knight to feud with Logan Paul for the US title and give us that win at SummerSlam. I would like to see that. That's the feud I want to see next. That's the necessary step for LA Knight. He needs a title. He needs something to back him up. I think AJ is going to win, but I say the caveat is the fear of is his momentum finally gone and his bubble burst without a WrestleMania win? I really hope not, and I trust the booking and trust him as a character to keep the crowd on side. But AJ needs to win more than LA Knight right now, and that's why AJ goes over, especially with this new character, as we discussed, is rumored. So AJ, by the way.
no, good choice, good even sense of the talk there because you look at even and you do see AJ does necessarily need a big win at WrestleMania. I think LA Knight does too as well. But I just feel like because he's red hot at the moment, LA Knight, and if it were me, I would have had him in for Logan Paul for the US Championship and win. But they're not going down that route, which I think is unfortunate. But if they're potentially going to do LA Knight winning the Money in the Bank, which is another decision that they got wrong, I think that win against Styles is a must need to build on to Toronto in the summer. And you could see like, oh well, if AJ wins, it could be bad for him, but not necessarily. I feel like with an AJ losing, I think it'd be great for him to then face more new wrestlers. Wrestlers who feel like they can beat the phenomenal one and they could go to a program, with someone who is up and coming and have these brilliant matches. Because you look at AJ, right? AJ isn't someone you look at and go is a storyteller. He doesn't necessarily grab your heart and make you emotional. He just awes you with an excellent wrestling match and is just a brilliant champion when he does big. But I feel like that with him losing to LA Knight can go in his path to being WWE champion. And I think AJ, in my opinion, should rumble around with some of the new guys. And I think he should get a few wins and then build them back up to that world title picture also. Because as I said, AJ is not getting any younger, but it will make it more interesting to see who AJ Styles could face in the main roster in 2024. Because when you think about so many dream guys that, AJ Styles is compared with, what I mean? You have, CM Punk. You also have Carmelo Hayes. You also have, so many different others, what I mean? I can't really think on top of my head. So it's going to be exciting for both guys either way, I think, in 2024, even if either of them lose. But I just think because he's red hot at the moment, I'm going to go with LA Knight. So that's my pick for me. But the next match then I'm going to touch on is the Intercontinental title match with the champion Gunther versus the big underdog, Sami Zayn. And lads, this build has been kind of crap. What do you think?
Tell us the truth. It's been shite. It's been deplorable.
Yeah.
Literally. And I'm a big Sami fan. And I saw why they picked him to be the one to face Gunther at WrestleMania. But I look at it and go, oh, I think Chad Gable was a better option. Yeah.
Chad Gable was the much better option because that's long-standing storytelling. Sami has done nothing with Gunther all year, whereas Chad has. Chad has the background to go in and feud with Gunther. He has the reasons. He has the.
Has this match been officially announced?
Yeah, it was announced when he won the Gauntlet match.
Yeah, it was announced when he won the Gauntlet, yeah.
But I think the build, I agree right, with everything you guys have said. If tonight on Raw, as we're recording, nothing happens with Chad, I still think there's something going on there. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's turning heel at Mania. Maybe I don't know where this is going, and that's intriguing me more so than it is being shit. Like if I've got something to hold on to like that, I'm kind of into it. I know the build's not been great. If it's as black and white as it's not Chad, it's Sami, and Sami goes on to lose, then it's like right, okay, it was shit, and it was a throwaway, and it was a bit meh.
But he is going on to lose.
But there's just something with Chad. I'm not sure what's going on there. And
nobody does, unfortunately.
Well, until I see what's going on with Chad Gable, I'm intrigued by this. And yeah, I don't know. It's more exciting because I just don't have a clue what this Chad Sami how this interaction, how that ends at Mania or continues after that. Something's going on here. This is more longer term than we think.
Yeah.
I think you could be right. Go on, Rob.
I was just going to say on that point there because I feel like obviously Chad Gable was obviously very disappointed not being able to actually get the victory in that gauntlet match, and I think that way kind of heel turn where he could actually take Sami out way before the match, and then Sami's like injured, and then Chad Gable takes his place and actually takes on Gunther and actually dethrones Gunther as the new Intercontinental Champion.
Do you know what? And I love all these different thinkings, lads, with the match and stuff, because it gets you actually kind of going, oh, they could go down that route of Chad Gable turning heel. But I actually don't think they should turn him heel fully, if this makes any sense to you, lads. I think they should have him cost the match and make Gunther win for the simple fact that it should have been him, but not like the Dolph Ziggler route where he's screaming, it should have been me. It's the whole fact is, you're not going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. I am. Sorry, that my phone's about to go for that. Jesus, the notifications. But you can edit that out, Martin. But no, I was just thinking that they could do something with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, but Chad Gable doesn't need to necessarily be a heel in a way, you know, oh, fuck the fans, fuck Sami. It's just he's like, no, you're not the one to do it. I'm going to be the one to do it. And as what Mark said, I think they should then build that long story of who is going to be the one to do it. And then it could be then Chad Gable to be the one to dethrone Gunther, and then he gets a big moment. And then in fairness, then Sami and Chad could actually probably embrace the moment going, we finally took down Gunther together. But we don't know. And that's what probably makes it exciting too, because they could go down that route. But to make it easier for everyone, I think Gunther's going to win, because it doesn't make sense if Sami does.
Yeah.
So
I'll agree.
Yeah, the whole match
it,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think they'll probably be. This might be the first time that all four of us agree, right? I think all of us will probably say Gunter goes over. Again, that's purely if. Well, actually, no. Even if Chad gets involved, Chad doesn't walk out as Intercontinental Champ. Gunter leaves WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champ. I'm just more intrigued with how they're going to do that with Chad and Sami. That's how I'll leave it. I'll stop talking.
Yeah.
Gunther should win in squash fashion.
Yeah, Gunter goes over.
Walk in, powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, fuck off, Sami, see you later.
But I was actually going to say to you, Rob, sorry, what are you going to say? Who are you picking?
So, Gunther over Sami.
Yeah. But how crazy is it that we are not going to be seeing Gunther versus Brock? It's crazy, because I think that match could have been unbelievable.
It could have been. It really could have been. And I know there's fans still calling for it.
Yeah.
You know, and even now, so does Brock come in? Now, this is the thing. Does Brock come and actually attack Sami and force that match?
God knows, it's wrestling, man. You never know.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's this talk where, obviously Brock Lesnar's been talked about where he's actually going to be coming back. So could this be where he comes back and takes it out Sami and goes for the title against Gunther to make that match at WrestleMania? Or even turn it into a triple threat? But there again, you don't want to have a triple threat match.
I mean, if you want Brock Lesnar in France to represent Canada, since Canada is a national language of French, then I'd say, like, yeah, they could probably do something like that at Backlash. But then again, it's still this whole case going on with Vince McMahon, because he isn't fully cleared. Even though he is back in the active roster on the website, I don't think he's fully cleared to be in any participant of any match in WWE. So, but I just think it's crazy to me that we were kind of not robbed, but we were kind of like, yeah, I don't know, but it would have been a brilliant match either way. But yeah, I think the next match then I'm going to get into is the 6-pack ladder match. I'm not going to get into all the teams. I think everyone knows who are going to be in it. But Tony, what's this breaking news that's been going on? Do you want to touch on this?
I do. So, anyone that's up to date, anyone that's watched SmackDown knows that the newly formed team of A-Town Down Under, and I say the newly formed team because they were referred to as A-Town Down Under at SmackDown. So whoever's rating the tag team then needs to go hang themselves. So Grayson Waller, Austin Theory won their match against the Pride. Jamie Holland is now in shock. They're in the match. They're the final team in the match. But on Sunday night, and I don't know if this is part of an April Fool's show. I don't think it is. Why would they air it Sunday night? They announced that Theory and Waller might be pulled from the match and replaced with a different team. Don't know how true it is. Don't know what the story is. How there's a meeting during the week to confirm it. I don't know. But I don't think that'd be the team I'd pick to put out to put another team in.
If it's true about that, by the way, I think it's wrong. In my opinion, I think it's very wrong that they will do that to them two guys to bring in legends who are just there for nostalgia. And I listen, we're here for the Rock and all that with the big tag team match and all that shit. But honestly, like, Austin Theory hadn't had a great WrestleMania match last year with John Cena, and everyone was looking forward to it. But John Cena, the one thing I remember from that feud was John Cena telling him, like, you're not good enough, basically. You're not ready to be at WrestleMania. You're not good to be a champion. And what they're doing now with him and Waller, it is a bit entertaining because they're both heels, and it is something that, you'd like to see happen if they become possibly tag team champions. But I just think it's wrong, in my opinion, for them two to be pulled out for two dudes who aren't contracted with WWE just for nostalgia. And like, we all love nostalgia in WWE, but we've seen the Dudleys return before. Leave it at that. You know what I mean? Save the Hardys. We've seen the return. Leave it at that. Let these two guys have some sort of WrestleMania moment together, especially Grayson Waller, because I have a kind of a soft spot for Grayson Waller. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's a big, dirty Australian heel, but you know what I mean? For him to have a WrestleMania match, it's great for him, you know? But if they take them two away from the match and put into Dudley's, I just feel like it's wrong. But what do you think anyway? What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to put, as I say, someone, like the Dudleys into a tag team match like this and take out a down under, it doesn't make sense because obviously the build that they've been getting to be in this tag team match as well and to form them as a tag team, you knew that they were going to be building them to something. So whether or not they win the tag team championship is another thing, especially at WrestleMania. But to have for them to be in this ladder match, because they will have ladder match moments in this match because they're how talented that they are, and that's what's going to make the match so good. Because if you take them away to just put the Dudleys in, for one, it doesn't make sense in that sense. But I mean, if you were taking one team out, it wouldn't be them. I mean, for me personally, I mean, the only team that I could say to probably take out would possibly be DIY if they were going to take any of the teams out.
Fuck right off, Rob.
I hate that, Rob. I'm sorry, I hate that.
Fuck right off. They're two lads that deserve to be on that Mania card.
In my opinion, they should be champions. But they're not going to
on this Mania card. Johnny Gargano was relegated to standing and never last year. Ciampa was on the sidelines with an injury. They deserve to be on this Mania card. Yeah. And if the rumours are true that they're splitting the tag belts, using the tag ladder match, then I hope they're one of the teams to pull one of the straps down. Because they fucking deserve it. No, I think there's only one team in that match that you could take out to throw in the Dudleys if needs be. And this is going to shock everybody because he's my guy. My guy is. And that is the New Day.
Whoa. Really?
The New Day don't need to be in there. They can be the host again. And have another team. The New Day do not need to be in that match. They really
We've seen this before, though.
And that would be actually, in a way, that would actually work because of, obviously, you remember back a while ago where the Dudleys had actually came to Raw and it was a New Day that were actually in the ring. So for them to come out at WrestleMania and take out New Day or as such, it could work that way.
So I wouldn't have the Dudleys take out New Day.
No.
I'd have the Dudleys be in the match, but I wouldn't have the Dudleys take out New Day.
Okay.
Let's continue the story. It has to be Imperium to take out New Day.
That's another team I think should have been in there.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I found this one.
Yeah.
This one's really hard to call. First of all, Jamie, get the cheap pop because that's what we're getting when the Dudleys come back. You got a ladder match in Philly, right? 100%. You got to have them in. It's a cheap pop. It's a nostalgia pop. It's fine. Get them in. But at the cost of, in my opinion, probably the most deserving tag team for the work they've done. A-Town Down Under. Grayson Waller's been very good as a heel. Austin Theory's not had a good year, like in terms of. I mean, he's not exactly got any more over than he was last year, but he's grafted. He's grafted with Grayson Waller, and the two of them actually have something that works. I'd have had them win one of the titles if they were separating them. I would have had them win. They deserve it, and plus, I think that there's only so far with that team you can have them as heels, without giving them some sort of credibility. And I think the titles give them that. So I'm disappointed that they're out. Fine. I can't call a winner. I can't call two. I don't think the New Day will win it. I think you're maybe likely going to have the somebody remind me of the names, but my fellow Brits to at least pick up one of
the Catch
the
Republic.
titles. Newcastle Republic. I think they will likely pick up one if that's the way they're going to do it. And to be honest, I hate to say it, but the only other way probably to have the Miz and R-Truth somehow. I don't know. This one, I find this one impossible. I'd like to actually abstain from having a vote on this. It's impossible to tell, especially if
Well,
they're going to have two winners.
if you're going to split the titles and you have a mix of heel and face teams in that match, well, then you should have a heel tag team and a face tag team split them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So to that effect,
But
to that effect,
what's everyone going to be? What's
that
everyone's
effect-
prediction now for this match?
you cut me off.
Sorry.
You cut me off. You son of a
I'm
bitch.
just saying.
To that effect, there can only be two teams to separate those tag titles. And not one of them is not the Awesome Truth. They're just there for a feel good, for it to piss off the Judgment Day. There's only two teams that can split those tag titles. Team one from SmackDown, the heel team, A-Town Down Under.
Yeah.
Has to be. Team
That's
two
what I think.
from Raw, the most over tag team in professional wrestling right now. Fuck you, Rob, DIY.
No.
Rob?
I would agree with Tony with A-Town Down Under, as in taking the SmackDown
A-Town Down Under.
A-Town Down Under, taking the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. But for taking the Raw ones, I do feel it's going to be the Awesome Truth, because I think it's going to be one of those moments where Truth is actually going to be on top of the ladder and he goes to take one of each, but he actually takes the Raw ones down, both of them, and he's like, I've won the belts, and then the next thing it's like, you're supposed to grab, and then the next thing you see like Austin Theory climb up the ladder and grab the other set.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
If I can
Mark?
jump in, that is my prediction. That's what I wanted to happen as well. That's what I was alluding to earlier. But I hope this breaking news of A-Town Down Under being taken out of the match is not the case, because that's the way I think it's got to go. And that is also how we eventually finally get the Judgment Day to dismantle and go off to their own thing. That would be my prediction. I think the Dudleys still make the match. It would be nice, like, but not at the cost of A-Town Down Under. I don't think that's fair. I think they've done enough to deserve the titles. Don't think DIY win it. I think they are better chasing for now. I don't think that they're ready to quite pull the trigger on them yet. But again, I think they've missed a trick not having Imperium there. A-Town Down Under for one, and the Awesome Truth for the other. And it is exactly the way that Rob has mentioned. That's what I had in mind. R-Truth winning, he's picking up the wrong one or something, right? That's for me.
Mm. Yeah, I might as well join in, not to be odd one out. If they are going to do the two separate titles, I would say that for the Raw one, it'd be Awesome Truth. Like, I think Awesome Truth, if they done just for, let's say, this match, and they didn't separate them, I'm going to pick Awesome Truth either way. So I'm going to keep that as a prediction. But then if it's for the same match and they're going to separate the belts, right, I feel like they're going to do the Awesome Truth winning the Raw belt. And I think they're going to do DIY winning the SmackDown belts, because DIY would be better on SmackDown than the Raw. I think a division with DIY as SmackDown champions with the Cat Republic and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, A-Town Down Under, which is kind of a tongue twister, I think would make interesting television for the next couple of months. So they're the two teams I'm going to go for. But honestly, to touch on the Dudleys again, I don't remember the Dudleys ever winning a big, ladder match at WrestleMania either way. I think it'd be more believable if like Edge and Christian came out and then probably won it, but they're in AEW now, killing it. So yeah, Dudley boys, please don't come back. You had your return, didn't end well, and don't want to see them anytime soon in WWE. But I digress anyway. Just to make this quick fire, we haven't done this yet, by the way, in a week of controversies. I'm going to do quick fire because there hasn't really been much talked about, because they've literally just announced, but we're going to go into them. The tag team match between Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Who team's going to win?
Dom and Santos, 100%.
I think Dom and Santos as well. Boys, what do you think?
Dragon Lee to get the pin. I think he's
Mm.
he's gonna have to look strong in his WrestleMania debut. I think he takes the win for his team.
Yeah. What were you, Rob?
Uh, I'd probably say Dom and Escobar as well.
Yeah. Could that be a heel turn with Carlito? Because that's a thing that
That
someone has touched on.
that's how Santos and Dom are going to win. Carlito's going to turn heel.
Yeah. I think so as well. I think they are going to do something in this to make it interesting. And I feel like a Carlito heel turn to cost Rey Mysterio the match. And by the way, LWO, just end that place. Because it's been crap. I don't know what you think about the LWO, but it just hasn't worked.
It's making money, Jamie. It's making money, selling a lot of t-shirts, and that works in other ways. It might not be the most entertaining team, but they sell a lot of merch.
Yeah, that's true. They do make money. So then the next match then is I'm going to say Team Lashley with the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley and B-Fab versus the Final Testament of Scarlett, Karrion Kross and AOP with Paul Ellering. Who do you think's going to win that?
Well, fortunately, they're not called Team Lashley, they're called the Pride.
The Pride. I forget they were called the Pride. I call them Team Lashley. Just call them whole business, man.
And they're building up really for Lashley's team to win, aren't they? In the little bits that we've seen in the development of this
Yeah.
match.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably go with Lashley as well.
yeah, definitely. I would say Team Lashley.
Yeah, get my vote as well. But again, one that I hope is on the pre-show, or else a good time to go and grab some food or go to the toilet. Sorry,
Is there
guys.
going to be a pre-show though for the matches now, or is it going to be on the main card?
Oh man, if it's on the main card, then I'm going to be
They
queuing
haven't
for
got
the.
enough matches to have a pre-show match.
Yeah, that's true. So then the last quick fire match we're going to get into before getting into the next match is Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control. I think everyone knows who's going to win this.
Surely it's team overhyped.
A storm is
Team
coming.
over, you fucking prick.
Surely that's the team that's winning it now.
Three incredible wrestlers, by the way. And I don't say that about Naomi much, but Naomi and TNA's run as Trinity, I thought was great. So I'm going to go with them too. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, a storm's coming. Time for
Storm
Jade
is
to show
coming.
us what she's doing.
Storm is
She
coming.
likes putting the subtle she likes putting the subtle hint in as a reason she went to do WWE. I want to be Storm in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I think.
Actually, sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to basically just say I think this is the moment where Jade Cargill gets her WrestleMania moment and actually gets a win, and she actually makes the pinfall. And that in this match, don't know who it's going to be over, but I would say Jade Cargill will be the one who gets the pinfall in the team, and that for the win.
Yeah,
I think she has to, yeah.
yeah. But boys, I was gonna plot this, which I think would be great for the moment of WrestleMania, because we've seen heel turns in WrestleMania, and we know about the most legendary one. But I would love Bianca to turn heel, because we've not seen a heel turn with Bianca in this
I
WWE
think they're
run yet.
gearing towards it.
I think they are gearing towards it. And we've seen the comments she made about Bailey. And in fairness, with heels and especially with Drew McIntyre, they can make some very good points. But I would love for Bianca to turn heel and attack Naomi and Jade Cargill and say, well, I don't need you. I'm the EST. Because we've seen her heel work in NXT and it was great. Even though she didn't win really big matches, she was great. And I feel like if they are going to elevate that character, I think it's about time to do turn them heel or to Hill, and it then makes it interesting then for her and Jade Cargill to possibly then have a feud that could lead up to SummerSlam, because can you imagine them two? Oh my God, like them two would have an unbelievable match and an unbelievable rivalry.
They would, all right, and I think that could actually happen at WrestleMania, because even after that match, I think, like I say, Jade Cargill will get the pin, and I think they'll all hold their hands at the end, up at the end, and then Naomi will drop her hand, and the next thing Bianca will just turn on Jade and knock her down and hit her with the her finisher, and that, and that will set up the build for leading up to SummerSlam.
But I was actually going to say also, lads, should Bianca Belair now, if this is an acceptable reference, but should Bianca Belair be the female version of an Undertaker, like have her own WrestleMania streak? Because she hasn't lost at WrestleMania. She's, I think, 4-0 at WrestleMania, if I'm correct. 3-0.
Preferably not. More, I can't be bothered with investing in that.
Would you not know?
I think, well, Undertaker's aura made it like a showpiece, a showcase. This huge, who can topple the dead man? She doesn't quite have the same feel to the character. Just, I don't know. They would have to be very clever in how they book that. But one of the things after Goldberg streak, after the Undertaker streak, Asuka streak, they can start talking about streaks too much and undefeated streaks a wee bit too much without it feeling real or without it feeling deserved. I don't know. If she's undefeated, it would be a surprise, but at the same time, she's not losing this year. So I guess there's no reason why they couldn't build it into next year's story, whoever she does go up against.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I have touched on a Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley match. So they could do that next year. They really good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, so the next match that I'm going to get into, boys, is for the US title match, which is Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton versus Logan Paul. Underwhelming. What do you think about this? I think it's just been underwhelming, the field.
Yeah, but your opinion on this is biased.
Why?
Because you've been having a head on since the Rumble saying LA Knight should be the US champion or should be in the US title picture. So your opinion on this is biased because you didn't get the match you wanted. Your opinion on this is deflated because you didn't get the match you wanted.
Yeah, I understand that. It's not the match I didn't get, but which I am accepting this one, but I'm just looking at it going, like, and here's the one thing about this feud, though, with these three guys. They seem like they are having fun with it, especially Randy. But it is like, you can just tell that they put Randy in this match because they had nothing for him. And it's so noticeable. And I know people are gonna think that's stupid, but it is that fact of he's in another US title match at a WrestleMania because he had nothing else for Randy Orton. And if you look at it, Randy Orton should be in a big profile match at a WrestleMania. But because everything else is, aligned and in storylines and stuff, it's like, well, Randy's back, we need something for him. So we'll just throw him into this title match that he's not gonna win, which
It is a
I'm
big
gonna go
profile match,
really
though.
in this. Yeah, but I'm going to go really in this prediction. I think he's had a great run with the championship and it should stay that way. I think Logan Paul should win.
Yeah, I think you can quickfire this one, to be honest, because again, I don't see how Logan Paul doesn't come away with it. I actually think as well that this match is a compliment to the rest of the card. That there was nothing for Randy. It's like, well, okay, I guess he can elevate the US title match that little bit more. If we don't have anything for Randy, I know it doesn't look great, for him. He's a big name, but it's because like where do you put him? I mean, they just threw that match with Rey Mysterio in there all of a sudden. LA Knights against the AJ Styles. Everyone has a place, but the bigger stories, the longer term stuff, we're okay. Maybe not getting full payoffs to them all, but they've done a real great job. And I know we've discussed this in the past, but in terms of build, best, I don't know, since you name it, maybe WrestleMania 30, this is the best build. I actually think it's even better than that. And that's a compliment to the booking. I do think it's a fairly simple match that Logan Paul goes over, though. I don't see how he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, no, definitely agree. I think Logan Paul, I mean, for me, he has to walk away with, still the United States champion and that. And I think it's literally as simple as that. The Maverick walks out as champ.
Yeah. I think it's you probably the same as well, Tony.
I have a question before I give you prediction. The question for all is there saying that it's a no-brainer that Logan Paul should go over with the title and walk out the US and still the US champion? Why?
Do you want to know the reason why?
I do. Yeah, you've given very insightful reasons.
No, yeah, of course. But my big reason why is that he's gonna pin. I don't think he's gonna pin Randy Orton, by the way, because Randy Orton is in there for the big name and to make this match elevate for WrestleMania worthy. But for Logan Paul to pin KO, because it's really been KO and Logan with Randy in the middle of all, in this feud between them two. But for Logan Paul to pin Kevin Owens while the Prime Bottle is in the middle of the ring is huge for Logan. And that's a stupid reason, but it's a big reason. First ever sponsor to be at a WWE ring, and it's Logan Paul's energy drink, which, by the way, tastes like absolute piss, but it's just
Was
crap.
that not a piss take?
Yeah, but
It better
right,
be.
I just think that something like that for Logan Paul to win with that being in the ring and have his Prime Bottle, have his championship, that to me is superstar. And anyone can say wherever they want, he's a social media star. But for him to do that at WrestleMania, to me, he would be superstar in terms of a wrestler. And there's no denying that.
Yeah, my answer to that is the main reason that our business exists, Tony. Money. That is why.
Money.
Right.
Money.
Right.
I just see I don't think that anyone is ready for him to drop that. I don't think financially it makes sense. They've still got a lot to go in terms of not just elevating him, but giving that exposure to the US title for a little bit longer before we do hopefully finally get what Jamie wants, what I want. And with everybody saying it, LA Knight, yeah, taking the title in
It
Cleveland.
should have been LA Knight.
In Cleveland at SummerSlam. That's when you
Rob,
drop
is your
it.
answer the same?
More or less, but I think, but with a wee twist, and I think the brass knucks will come into play, and I think it'll actually be Orton that goes to hit Logan Paul, hits Kevin Owens with it in the middle of the ring with the Prime Bottle, and Logan Paul covers Kevin Owens and picks up the victory and has his hand raised with the championship while the Prime Bottle is on show.
Yeah, because that's big in fairness for Logan. And as what Mark said, it's business. It's all about money. And no other way that business, and for his stardom as well in WWE, to go skyrocket is if he won his second WrestleMania match, but his fourth as a singles competitor. Because he lost to Rollins last year. And if the rumours are true that he is retiring from
This
boxing.
is his third Mania.
By the way, he never had a boxing career. The chap can't box. I'd probably box him in a boxing match. But anyway, right? If he's going to be full-time in WWE, which I pray is true, my God, boys, he's going to feed families for generations if he is going to be a full-timer, because he's already great being the part-timer, US champion. If he goes full-time this year in WWE, man, we are in for some brilliant television, because you hate him, but what do you say, Tony, about heels? That's his job, isn't it? So, Logan all the way.
Yeah, and I think too, you'll find a lot of, especially after that match, you'll find a lot of Prime Bottles will be sold out by the time that WrestleMania.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? While his little brother gets
Prime is
knocked
going
out by Iron Mike
Prime is
Tyson.
going to sell regardless of him being in a wrestling ring or not. It was selling out long before he stepped foot in a wrestling ring.
Yeah. But
I don't know. My prediction for this is based off this reign being a meh reign. He hasn't really done that way other than go around to different shows and flaunt it. So it hasn't really got the publicity that you think it's gotten.
But it's him. It's because it's him, though. I think it's because it's Logan. He's a high profile social media star. You know, I mean, everybody knows who he is. I just think it's not that the championship is making him. He is gonna possibly make the championship for the run that he goes on. You know, he brings it everywhere too. Brings it to even his brother's boxing matches as well. So it's not like you even see guys as well. You see guys who have gone to UFC, fights and whatever and blah blah blah, but don't bring a championship. He brings that championship everywhere. So everyone knows that he's the US champion. Might not be from a wrestling standpoint exciting, but from a business standpoint, for eyes, for executives and everything like that, no brainer that they keep him as champion. There's an absolute no brainer.
When did the reigns there?
when he bet Rey Mysterio
When was
at
that?
one of the Saudi shows
The last year?
last year. Yeah, I think it might be in Crown Jewel.
Last November?
Yeah,
Was that November?
I think it might have been. Yeah,
So he's what, 5 or 6 months as the champion?
about that. Yeah, about 5 months
And there's been nothing memorable about it.
because he's a part timer, and I think that's the reason why it's not memorable from a wrestling fan. But because it's Logan and he is a big name, everyone will still have a look towards it. Might not be memorable. I do agree with you there, but because it's Logan, it's because it's the big name. It still gets eyes on the actual storyline. Got to do
We
with
need a
the
full-time
wrestler.
champion, not a part-time champion.
But that's why I'm hoping he's full time after WrestleMania, and I hope it's true that he's full time. You know, but
And my prediction is no secret. It's been the prediction I've had since the match was teased at Elimination Chamber when he struck the Viper with the brass nuts. I made it a triple threat. My prediction was then and is now that Randy Orton is walking out US champion. But he
fair enough.
doesn't pin Logan Paul. Orton doesn't pin Logan Paul. Orton pins a knocked out KO after he was hit by the brass nuts. Not knowing he was hit by them, but still pins him nonetheless, setting up a KO Randy Orton feud after Mania. Because Logan Paul's going to disappear for 6 months.
Yeah,
There you go, lads. Tony hears voices in his head.
yeah.
All the time.
So what is it? 3 to Logan, 1 to Randy Orton. Is that what we're going with, boys? Yeah,
Sounds it.
that's it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
weirdly enough, this is actually the last match that we're touching on. And it's do you know what? It's a match that I am very 50-50 about, and it is Jimmy versus Jey Uso, which, by the way, is still a singles match. By the way, still a normal match.
Yeah.
So, who wants to touch on this, boys? Who wants to touch on this match?
I think I'll go for this one first. I think, as I say, this match has been brewing for nearly a year at least, give or take. Basically, since I would say almost just after Civil War from last year, and I think I don't know. I really don't know what way they're going to push it, because they can push it either way, and the payoff will still be good with it, no matter which way they go with it. And I think for me, I think they have to give it to Jimmy. If I'm honest, I know.
What?
Yes, yeah, I think they'll
Jesus.
give this to Jimmy, and that I really do. People might think, oh, why do you say Jimmy? Why not Jay? The whole heat's behind, Jay type of thing. And that's the reason. And I think Solo Sikoa will play a big part in this, and I think that's where Jimmy will get the win over his younger brother, and I think Jimmy will be the one to beat Jay.
Wow. That
Rob,
is
you
actually
are
something I
high
did
on
not
some
expect.
serious shit tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He literally is
Well,
smoking a few
if you-
doobies
He
under
wants
the table.
DIY taken off the Mania card. He wants Jimmy Uso to beat Jay.
Well, fellas, if you think that Rob is high on something, you're gonna love this.
Go on
Rob,
then, Mark. Hit me.
I'm delighted to say I agree. I think Jey Uso he's had a great year. I think Jimmy Uso's done his job. He's been a chicken shit heel. He's done, he's been fairly entertaining, but a bit meh. But I think for me, this match, yes, it's about the two of them, but the person who needs this match most is Solo. And I think Solo is the one to somehow ensure that Jimmy wins. And I think that has to be the way. The crowd is backing Jey Uso. The merch sales say that. The crowd pop say that. The yeet says that, right? Jimmy Uso doesn't have anything. Solo's in on a losing streak for what feels like years, ever since Cena put him over. I think Jimmy needs it. And I think Solo badly needs to get involved to get him that heat back. Otherwise, they are not really can't take either of them seriously. They go nowhere after this. Whereas Jey Uso can go far. He's away from the bloodline. got a bit more development to do storyline wise with other people, more entertaining matches to come. Jimmy needs it. Solo badly needs to get involved. Yeah, Rob, I'm with you.
These are both crack smokers.
Yeah, I
Yeah, well, I
acknowledge
actually
This
can't
my
believe me and
this
golden one.
Tony are going to agree
this
on something when
whole
everyone's separated.
this whole storyline has been about Jay getting away from the bloodline. That makes no sense for Jimmy to win if the whole climax of this story is Jay getting away from the bloodline.
Yeah.
So for me, it has to be Jay that wins. Jay has to knock the yeet out of Jimmy's ass, like you said, and get away from the bloodline once and for all, so we can do this solo thing. Solo.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen if Jimmy wins. It doesn't happen if Jimmy wins, because that means they're going to continue the story
Yeah,
But
like
what?
out of
Tony,
Mania.
Tony's right though. I can't believe I'm actually actually agreeing with Tony for the first time in I don't know how long. Like probably since last week actually.
Like,
But
what about?
but that's what they're building towards. I think like we've seen the interview with both guys. They wanted this match, since they were kids. They wanted brother versus brother. And in fairness, I actually gonna be controversial. I think the match is gonna flop because it's gonna be very story told than more of a wrestling match. But
Yeah,
and to me, I think for me to have a fascinating climax to this story, I feel like both brothers should defeat each other. Like Jay should win, but it should be that badly effective for both brothers where I feel like I'd write them both off. I know Jay's on a great run and he wants to separate himself from the bloodline. But instead of this, right, Jay wins and then he's at Raw at WrestleMania and blah, 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 I would have them both actually take a lot from each other where they both write each other off TV. Jay gets the big win, but it's because the bloodline has exhausted both wrestlers so much. It's this whole 4 years that has been mentally torturing Jay that he wants to get away from. And he can do that by just literally affecting his brother so much in the same way that Jimmy wants to do to Jay, wants to affect his brother from everything that he's been through. It's not just Jay as well, it's also been Jimmy because he's been through some shit. He feels like he can't escape, and the only way he can escape is if he can take it out on his brother. So they're taking it out on each other, and it's so bad that they both get written off TV, which I think to me would be like, right, that's how they end it. Now, I mean, they end it in that way, where they're both lying on the floor, where they both need help, they both need assistance, and that it literally is like, right, both brothers can both walk on their both feet and walk out together instead of one. You know what I'm saying? That it now sounds stupid, but it's like instead of one actually walking away while the other one's on the floor, both of them are on the floor. You know what I mean? Like Triple H and The Undertaker, they both walk with assistance because they've actually like have affected each other that badly. But I'm gonna go with Jay anyway to win.
And they thought it back to his promo before he super kicked his way out of the bloodline the first time, where he was like, I'm in your shadow, I'm consistently in your shadow, I don't want to be in your shadow. So, I mean, the whole build of this has been, I need to get out of Jimmy's shadow.
Yeah.
Jimmy's the older rooster. He's always been the chosen one. I've always been told to listen to him, but now it stops. There's no other winner of that match other than Jay. It makes no sense for Jimmy to win it.
No, it wouldn't really. It's not like, and this is the thing. It's like Jay realistically should win it, but it's not like the Jimmy losing is going to affect anything. It's just that both bros are going to have a dream match that they've always wanted. This is what this basically is. This is something that when they go behind backstage, they're both going to emotionally cry and hug each other about. Because we both know, I know that characters and all that, but we both know that this is a match that both excited for to have, and they're both excited
Oh,
to
Leeds penalty.
choreograph and to talk about and to story tell. But then we know when we see a documentary and pictures and stuff like that, we're going to see both brothers hug each other because hopefully, I hope I'm wrong, and hopefully it's not a flopping match, but hopefully it's a match that everyone talks about for years to come when we talk about some of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. I could be wrong saying that, but you never know with this match. That's why I'm fairly 50-50 about it.
Yeah, because I mean, especially obviously with their dad being Rikishi type of thing, and if he's going to be at WrestleMania 2, it's more than likely he's going to be back, give a big hug at the end, after the match type of thing, because they'll deserve a hug from somebody because of what they've put in to this long-term storytelling with this match. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why, like as I say, with Jimmy, this win for Jimmy would catapult him more than it would with Jay, and that and that's why I think Jimmy needs this win more than Jay.
You also think DIY should be off the Mania card. Your opinion means fucking nothing at this point.
They'll be off, don't you worry. But as I say, I think with Jimmy, as I say, if with him picking up the win, it'll mean more to him than it would to Jay. But I know both of them, as I say, they might go off TV for a bit, come back, build up to SummerSlam, have a rematch, and then go down that lane of where Jay will pick up a win there, and then they'll both want the final match between each other. And that where it's, and then it could just end up, whether it's Survivor Series or whether it's Crown Jewel or whatever it happens to be, and they'll just have it, pick one to win, basically.
Yeah. But that is actually kind of the beauty of WrestleMania. No one knows what's going to happen. We can predict these things, but it's only when we watch night 1 and night 2, which I think that lads, they're pretty late with these announcements for the matches and the nights as well. Because normally they're earlier with the announcements stuff. They're pretty late with the announcements.
Not with the nights. Usually they don't. They tend to have the main event set aside, knowing what night they're going to be on. But then the actual matches itself for each of the nights, you don't usually announce it almost until you don't normally hear it until like literally that day of each show, and that, which is a bit strange on it,
Yeah.
But because at least obviously the card, what it's going to be, going in to the weekend. So because most people are going to be there both nights anyway, so it's not going to be a case of like oh, you're just going to go there for the one night, and then fly back the next night, not miss not see the main event for whenever Roman Reigns successfully defends the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, boys. You throw that one, I'm telling you, you throw that. Well, I'm fucking throwing up the one. No. I'm not throwing up no ones. No ones are being thrown up. No, I throw up the twos because they're all two cunts. Anyway.
How about some spoilers?
Spoilers.
Do I have a spoiler for you?
Go on then.
By the end of this week, there's going to be more than one Tony holding gold.
Yeah. NXT stand and deliver. Okay, let's touch on that then.
The Mad Dragon's head is getting chopped off, and Tony D'Angelo is leaving Philadelphia with the NXT World Championship.
He can have his fake Jersey accent all he wants. He ain't losing. I ain't winning to Dragunov. No fucking hope. No hope. Oh,
Fuck off, Rob.
we doing belt here again. The belt collection.
Give me my moment.
Yous.
Give me my moment.
Okay, you can hold it first.
Me and Mark just have no belts. You know what I mean? We don't collect belts, don't we not, Mark?
Yeah, I'm beltless. I couldn't spend $2,000 on that.
Literally. Yeah, but yeah, Dragunov. We don't really have that much time to talk about the NXT matches, which I think would be a great episode to do.
There's only two I want to talk about, but I want to do it fast, like you did a minute ago. Yeah. Obviously, the first one is D'Angelo Dragunov. I'm clearly, they share his name, I'm clearly on Team Tony.
Yeah.
Jamie is Dragunov. Rob, Dragunov or D'Angelo?
Do you know what? I'm gonna, depending on which way it works, I would say D'Angelo, only if Dragunov's going to be drafted to Raw or SmackDown after Mania.
Hopefully Raw, so we can get the run back to him and Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? Do you watch NXT, Mark?
I do from time to time. I find it hard to keep up. I tend to try and watch AEW instead, and I've only got so many free evenings, but I do keep in touch. But I do think Dragunov goes over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another match I wanted to touch on before the broadcast went kaboom tonight is probably the most built and most talked about match in NXT history, and that is Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all in agreement here. At Saturday, WrestleMania Saturday, we're going to see Trick whoop that Melo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because he's Trick James, bitch.
Oh, stop. Man, he is a superstar. I don't bring him to the main roster. He's ready. And I've never seen someone so ready in all my life. I know he hasn't wrestled that long, but he's literally a superstar already. I don't know why. This is something about Trick Williams. I'm not saying that to be the bandwagon fan that I normally am with wrestlers, but there's just something about Trick Williams, even with Booker T and commentary. It's like every match needs
Booker
to have
T's
Booker T
commentary
and
is
commentary.
woeful. That man needs to leave commentary and let someone else sit in.
Ducky, ducky, quack, quack. But yeah, Trick Williams. There's no. Carmelo's going to go to the main roster after this properly, but Trick Williams going to win.
Which
So,
is deserved, which is rightly deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the story that they're telling.
We all agree. Unbelievable. Weekly
Unbelievable,
controversies.
yes.
Well, we need to close it down.
A great way to end a 2-week Mania special. In agreement,
Well,
in unity.
Not necessarily, because this is what I was going to touch on before we went on to the two big matches in NXT. Match of the weekend. What's everyone going for?
Match of the weekend.
Oh. This is including NXT.
Like the whole weekend or just Mania?
No, I'm talking about NXT and the 2 nights of WrestleMania, because I don't think anything in the indie scene is going to gravitate anything close to what's going on in WWE. So, then 3 shows. Match of the night.
Story-wise, match for me, I would have to say would be Roman Reigns and Cody, and that just for Roman Reigns to finally finish the story against Cody once and for all, and get out, because Cody is not winning that championship, because Roman Reigns is still going to be yours and everyone else's on this WWE Universal Championship, and I don't care what anyone says, that man is not winning the undisputed.
He is winning the championship. This is a reality check, Rob. This is the reality check you're going to get in 6 days' time. The same with you, Tony, and same with every other bloodline ball bag. This is your reality coming Sunday.
All those Cody Road crybabies are just going to be in. They're going to be. Clinics are going to have a freaking field day over WrestleMania weekend. They're going to be sold out of tissues everywhere because.
Yeah, by the way, you can back The Rock all you want. You can back that pedo that's linked to another pedo that's named Puff. So you can all swivel on that as well.
Edit that whole fucking bit.
Getting feisty this weekend, boys.
So I don't think Rob understood the question, nor did you understand the assignment. Because yes, we're all waiting for this Poxy Cody saga to end again. So he's not going to be 3-1 hits. Sorry, distracted. For this whole Cody thing to end and for Roman to walk out still the longest reigning champion and his legacy to continue. The sight to behold, but that's not going to be match of the weekend. Not by a long shot. For me, match of the weekend is going to be down in NXT. It's going to be Mellow and it's going to be Trick. I believe that's going to be match of the whole weekend.
For me, I think the match of the weekend is going to be the tag team match between The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. I think that's it. I think that's going to be the match of the weekend. Just there's a lot building towards that match. And I think with Roman and Cody, yes, it's a big match also, and it's going to be Cody finishing the story, which I cannot wait for, and I cannot wait to get the confetti when you come back, Tony, and I'm going to sprinkle it all over the room in celebration, popping the champagne and getting the Kingdom theme song on because it's going to be glorious. But
due to copyright infringement, we can't actually do that, and I won't be here for the episode the week after. You'll have to hold our celebrations to the week after.
Me and my beautiful voice is going to sing it. But anyway, I think the tag team match is going to be the match in night because I feel like this match is being the most built for throughout the week. Throughout the last few weeks. And with the Rock's first match in years and with the possible Easter eggs that we've seen and all that stuff with, interference and stuff, I feel like this match is going to blow a lot of people away. And might not be 5-star classic, but I think in terms of storytelling, surprises, shocks, all that type of stuff, it's going to be 100 out of 10. So I'm going to go for the tag team match.
Mark?
Are we talking here match quality, or are we talking what we spoke before? Or WrestleMania moments, match moments, excitement?
I think match quality moments, auras, everything you know about WrestleMania match of the night.
It's hard to beat both main events for that, if I am honest. But the match that I cannot wait for the result of, to talk about, to see, is Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre. I am really intrigued with that, and I think that will be very underrated. Don't sleep on that. That's going to be mega, and it has to be. It has to be. It's been built up too well. That's the one for me that's hopefully going to tick all the boxes. Match quality, both guys, story, psychology, crowd. That's the one. Other than that, obviously, anything that features The Rock and Roman Reigns' kind of storytelling match style going to be pretty good. But no, I think people are going to be talking about Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre for a while.
Yeah, no, good pick, Mark. Good pick, and absolutely, especially with CM Punk now involved and possibly Damian Priest.
Mark.
Yeah, that could be match of the weekend. Absolutely. But so yeah, I think that is everything we've talked about. Got to do with WrestleMania and touched on a little bit of NXT. But last thing then we could say is Tony and the two Ryans, which is special mention by the way. Enjoy.
Mark,
Yes,
Mark, I have a
Tony.
question. Did you take offense to CM Punk calling the Kill the Scared last week?
Would I take offense? So I was at a wedding on Friday, which is why I'm currently recording in such a better area than my bedroom. There was many people in kilts. You'd have been glad to see that they were green as well, representing you guys a little bit. It disgusts me when you call these things skirts. Clearly, you guys don't know class. And I know that Drew, like a true Scotsman, would have had his balls out underneath that thing, not wearing his boxer shorts. Quite right. Normally, but of course, the professional wrestling on the TV.
I call it a kill.
So
I took offense to it last week. I just wanted to know if a Scotsman did as well.
it shows a lack of understanding of our great culture, Tony, if I'm honest. No, it is a kilt.
Kilt. And they're nice.
And
They're very comfy as well. Very comfy.
great commentary.
Airy. Very airy.
Hopefully we get more of it tonight.
A lot of freedom. Freedom!
Lots of freedom.
But
Literal. I like that one, Rob.
it
So,
has been an
what time your
absolute
flight at
pleasure.
tomorrow?
20 to 5.
20 to 5? You're going to be leaving for the airport in the next few hours.
No, 20 to 5 in the afternoon.
Oh,
No,
right,
are we
what the
all
fuck?
nighter for you?
All right.
The lads
No
would,
rush
I
then,
wanted
yeah.
to do an early flight. The lads didn't want to do one.
So what time are you getting into Philly at?
7 o'clock Philly time.
That's not bad.
We should be checked in and all by 8 o'clock.
And then your WrestleMania week starts then on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to take a trip. Get something from Walmart and then get a pizza from one of the pizza places around where we're staying on the way back and watch what I believe will be Dynamite Milan. No, NXT. The NXT.
NXT, Dynamite Wednesday. Yeah. Cool.
Tony, I expect the WhatsApp group to be popping with videos, make us jealous. Have a
Keep an eye on the
smashing
Instagram
time,
and the TikTok. I'm trying to get
Definitely.
Ryan Healy or Ryan Fagan to take up the TikTok for the week.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Sure.
Because Rob
we
didn't
all
book his
know.
fucking flight.
Yeah, but listen, right? I know he's going to be in Philly, but where's everyone else going to be? I know you're going to be at Night 2's party, aren't you, Mark?
Yep, I'm gonna go to Leeds. Unfortunately, Aaron isn't able to make it today. He's ill. Hopefully, he will have recovered by the weekend. Night 2, gonna watch that with Aaron. I'll probably watch night 1 with him as well. We've actually also got the Old Firm derby. Rangers hopefully going to extend their lead, or at least go top the league and extend that against Celtic on Sunday. But on Saturday night, me and Aaron will be watching that in his house. Sunday night, we've got the Box Park Leeds watch party. So buzzing to watch it with him. Will be like old times. The only thing is, you guys
There's a
won't be
box
there
park
this
in
time.
Leeds. Nice.
Sorry, not Box Park. Hooked on Wrestling. It would be a Box Park. I think they've got a
Well, I say
pub
that
or a
because I know
bar.
box park is not like there's a Wembley box park, but it's like an organization. It's a
Yes,
big chain of things, so I know there's different ones in England.
I don't think it will be a box park league. I think they just hooked on wrestling and done one of those like a sports bar sort of thing or pub. Similar actually, I watched Money in the Bank in Leicester Square last year, somewhere like that. But I wanted it to be either with you guys or with Aaron. Just these are things, right? This is Christmas. Jamie hit the nail on the head. This is Christmas for us, and Christmas is better with family, and the rest of the family gets together. So me and Aaron will watch that together. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Just
What about you,
before
Rob?
Jamie brings us home, I have one request for the three of you,
Yeah, go on.
and I'll be doing it as well. Wherever you are doing, I want your reactions recorded to the ending of Cody and Roman at night 2.
That'll have to be Monday for me.
No, like a live record, but whenever you watch it, don't get spoilers. You watch it live, recorded live, we got Jamie, stay clear of spoilers. I want the reaction of that match, of the ending of that match.
Well,
Yeah.
I know what my reaction is going to be. It's going to be simple, and it's going to be raising the finger up because the tribal chief will be your undisputed WWE
Well,
Universe.
then do your homework and record video, please, and thank you.
Yeah. Right. I think we're nearly touching on stoppies of fingers. Yeah, that's it.
I think
What's
we're
the
over.
bloodline?
We're not touching. I think we're over the time by 10 minutes this week.
Oh, stop. That's why I'm actually going to end it there because Martin is actually going to kill us. But honestly, do check everything out. Check the socials. Everyone knows the socials from watching the episodes. Twitter, Instagram, fucking YouTube at the FiveMarks. You know, check out this episode now this Friday to get you excited for WrestleMania because we need the views. We need money. Like WWE, we need the money. And check TikTok as well because yeah, we are going to try and get to Ryan's footage, and yeah, as well as Tony vlogging his trip to WrestleMania and his live reactions as well as our reactions. So I've been Jo. That is being Tony. That's also being the Golden One, Rob, and also Mark. Which thanks again for coming on this week,
Guys. I love it. I look forward to it every week that you need me. Thanks. Enjoy WrestleMania.
Before that little midget turns us off again, like he did last week, I'm just gonna say to everyone, enjoy WrestleMania. This is the most exciting week of the year. This is Christmas for everybody else. We hope you enjoy. We're definitely gonna enjoy. Safe flights, Tony and the boys to Philly, and 6 days. 6 days until he finishes the fucking story. Victor. Oh.